2 years ago, as an incoming high school senior, I thought I was hot stuff. I had a great GPA, resume full of clubs and activities, and plenty of other extracurricular activities. Going into the year, I thought I was headed for an easy semester since I was taking 2 online classes and 2 other classes that were both going to be a breeze. Little did I know that the journey before me was going to be filled with many sleepless nights, stressful afternoons, and lots of moments questioning if I was making the right decisions with the path I was taking. I mistakenly believed that because these classes were online, they were going to be easier since the answers to all the questions were just a mouse click away. This belief was ultimately the source of my problems. At the last possible minute, I would start what I needed to get done when this habit grew into the awful ritual of waiting until the last night before the due date to start working on my assignments, which led to poor performances on my work and tests since I actually wasn't learning anything. And in many cases, the answers online weren't exactly what I always needed them to be. This is where I finally realized I needed to make a change, or else I was going to have a poor grade in a class that was my last chance to show I had what it took to get into university I wanted to. Miraculously, I found some help and implemented strategies into my day-to-day life that helped me turn around my semester. At a time like now, when most schools across the nation are moving to online instruction, and where students are increasingly growing wary of online lectures and busy work, you may wonder, how can I better traverse the world of online learning? Most people would start by using Google in order to find the answers, but then you get stuck into taking BuzzFeed quizzes that tell you if you're funny or not, or trying to figure out what your rap name is. Mine is Juicy Dog, by the way. The internet is a rabbit hole many of us struggle with on a daily basis, and it makes online learning even harder than it needs to be because of the endless distractions. Nearly everyone has a laptop or phone at their disposal, and picking them up and getting sucked into the endless stream of media is one of the easiest things to do, especially when you're supposed to be listening to an online lecture. I have found that the best way to sit down and learn is to listen to the lecture one time fully, if possible, and then go back and pause when necessary to better understand some of the topics you may be hazy on. Any particular hazy or elusive topics can be supplemented with helpful YouTube tutorials to help you master them. The benefit of these YouTube videos is the job of the creators is to entertain and to rack up those views. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So the information is often more concise, clearer to understand, and retained longer, unlike lectures by traditional teachers and professors. Traditional instructors' main goal is not to entertain. They merely instruct. This unfortunately makes online teaching for them much harder task, since the attention span of wireless device users are much shorter, and they are ill-equipped to make memorable material. However, because the internet is so vast, it is easy to find extra supplemental videos if your professor is just not able to speak your learning language. You may be thinking, how am I going to stay focused on YouTube when you just said the internet is the easiest way to get distracted? The answer is simple, but hard to follow. You must practice self-discipline in order to stay on track. This is definitely one of the harder things you can do, and in some cases, it's even harder than what you're supposed to be learning. However, there are some good ways to practice that will be helpful beyond your online learning period. One tactic is to set goals for yourself, both long-term and short-term, in order to motivate yourself to stay on task. For long-term goals, you may want to set the goals high, such as wanting to get a great career or getting into a top college. Personally, I always wanted to get into the University of Pennsylvania, and throughout my high school career. And throughout high school, this caused me to work harder and always stay on top of my tasks whenever I could. When the day came for the acceptance letter email to come in, I was not one of the select few to receive one. This was tough to grapple at first, but this was one of the best things that could have happened to me. Every day, I still keep that defeat in mind, since it was a goal of mine to attend this school, and the only way I'll be able to get there is by continuing to work my hardest. This means always being able to perform my schoolwork to the best of my ability. You too can stay motivated by keeping your long-term goals in mind for use as a way to stay accountable, because you would not want to screw over your future self by not doing something trivial now. These long-term goals are also supplemented by short-term goals, like getting a certain number of assignments done each day or listening to all assigned lectures. Doing this will allow you to work towards a daily goal, and you will not feel like the work you're putting in is going to waste. With the short-term goals, you should have a reward in mind for completing them. These rewards will give you the incentive to complete goals. For instance, I love taking long naps or watching a movie on Netflix after finishing up all of my daily goals. These allow me to de-stress after a long day of work and give me the ability to tackle it all again the next time around. With the right attitudes, materials, and goals, you will be able to easily stay on top of your online classes and create helpful productivity habits that will be handy down the road.